Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Become an Author podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jessie Bowen, and today we have a special guest, Grandmaster Amanda Marie Justice, and we're going to have an exciting show today. And she's a best-selling author, founder of the Master Mom brand. I'm going to call it a brand because we're going to talk more about that.
Right.
And our program today is really trying to share with our listeners about the value of becoming a published author. And so this is show number 4 we've done, talking about martial artists who are master instructors, they're authors, they're school owners, they're public speakers. How do you make that connection to continue to grow yourself? And it's also promoting our new online course, which is titled Speak with Confidence. So Amanda, welcome to our show today.
Thank you. It's so great to see you again. It's been a long time.
Well, you and I both, we've both been busy.
Yes.
I see all the things that you're doing. And I thought it was a great opportunity to share with our listeners through the Become an Author podcast, what other people are doing, especially who are authors, and they're also public speakers, and they have all these amazing things that's actually can really change their lives, and learning about the power of storytelling and how to write and influence the martial arts community by being a published author. So let's start, by just a few questions about you to introduce yourself, a little background about you. I know, I would tell everyone the first thing is that, she's my granddaughter's instructor who made black belt, and I had the great opportunity to come to Tennessee. This was before we actually officially met each other.
True.
And had a chance to sit in the stands and as a spectator, not as a grandmaster.
I bet that was new for you.
Yeah, but it was good because, you have a lot of individuals that are in the martial arts community say, well, if you have a large school, then you had to cut back on the quality of your program, but,
Right.
Having that chance to be in the audience, and I'm watching the test, but I'm watching the people. How are they responding? And I don't know, you had 100 plus students testing that weekend.
That's right. Yeah, it was a big black belt testing, and so the students that were there were either testing for their black belt or black belts testing for higher rank, and it was it's always just a great time. I never get tired of that aspect, even all the years that I've been teaching and doing graduations and belt tests. It's always exciting. So it was a little special to have you there. And then, of course, we've gotten to know each other since that time, which has been nice.
Yeah, and a very successful school. I'm assuming. Do you have an after school program now? I know you didn't at that time.
No, we don't. But we are this summer. It's been a little bit, but we have a great new location that we just moved into, and we're going to be it's going to be a lot easier to offer things like that. So we're going to start with the summer program this year, and then and see what happens from that point. So.
Well, I know, you have an amazing school, and you really have built a personal brand through your book. And what is it, Master Mom?
Yeah, I have three books, but the very first one was Master Mom. It was parenting tips, create a happy and harmonious home. That was the first book that I wrote, and that was kind of the catalyst to the TV show, and just getting out in the community and presenting not just the martial arts level of things that a school owner can do, but how you can get out in your community and communicate with others in different ways.
And this is really the power of what we do as martial artists, because we are beyond just a kick and punch.
Right.
And there's such a big message. And becoming an author, publishing a book becomes a segue for getting that information out. Now, tell me a little bit about this television show. Now, we've just started a Roku channel, and we're inviting martial artists to be a part of the martial arts. But your show, was that a weekly program that you were doing?
Yeah, we started off as a weekly program, and then it was based on advice to parents and families from a master martial artist instructor's perspective. So, in working with the kids and families for so many years, I was always, parents would be talking to you, and I'm sure a lot of school owners have the same experience. I'm having trouble with Johnny at school, or this, that, or the other. And so I thought, well, I get a chance to communicate in my studio about that, but finding a way to communicate more to the community. So the book, Create a Happy, Harmonious Home, was based on, a martial arts perspective of parenting and how to help kids and families kind of navigate the difficult, you know, from the toddler to the elementary to the teen, and then and beyond. So the TV show was advice to families, and people would write in and ask questions, um, and I would just give them my perspective or help them get to resources that they needed. And we talked about that on the TV show. So
Well, that's really powerful. So that's public speaking on a whole different level.
yes,
So
and it was
now
live,
you're,
so you had to be on your toes and ready to go.
well, yeah, but that's the thing about it. If you know your product, or and you know what you're doing, and you have that experience, that's what you want to do. So this is my whole thing about becoming an author. Someone would ask me, well, what do I write about? My whole thing is, what are you passionate about? So
Absolutely.
whatever you're passionate about, that can be your book, and being able to use that to be able to influence, thousands of people. Because I know with your station, pretty much everyone probably in the city knows exactly, who you are, where your school is located. So that was really building a lot of fact checking and credibility, because you're out there with your own show.
It is very helpful, and it was a way to put a different face on what people may think of martial arts school is all about, and kind of educate folks that we are kind of the full package. We want to build a good citizen as well as a great martial artist. So I think that really helps educate. And when a family signs up at the school here, they get one of those books, and I think that also helps, say, oh wow, I'm coming into more than just my kid's going to be kicking and yelling and jumping around for a couple hours a week, but this is going to be something that's going to help our family together.
That's what I'm sharing with the martial artists, that are in our books, whether they're our Who's Who books or they're writing their personal books. Think about it. A person comes in for the very first class, and they leave with a book written by you, telling the solutions to the problems that they're looking for their kids, and it's right there in their hand.
Right.
And the author, because students really want to look up to their martial arts instructor, but you've got a book, your pictures on it, you have on your local TV. I mean, that is brilliant strategy. So can you tell us a little bit about your martial arts journey and what inspired you to start Olson's Martial Arts Academy?
Well, I started at a young age of 10 years old in Florida, and I began and just kind of got involved because my brother had started lessons and it looked like it would be fun. And within a couple of weeks, my mom, my dad, myself, and my brother had all joined, and we began training together in Taekwondo. Absolutely loved it. It was something that I really kind of fell in love with. I enjoyed the challenges, the fun. Of course, being a kid, I made lots of friends and had great times there. And it wasn't too long, just before my dad earned his black belt, that he decided he wanted to become an instructor and do this full time as well. So he uh, started a school, quit his job, and we moved to a city that was probably about, I think it was like an hour and a half away from our instructor. And so he was still close by and very helpful in getting us started. And the rest is kind of history. My dad, he just turned 79 years old and he is still teaching Taekwondo. And I just think that as long as dad's out there kicking, I'm going to be out there kicking.
Well, that's really amazing. And so in that, in the process of, what really led you to become an author? I talk about it. I know what inspired me. I wrote a book, and a lot of people liked the book, and now there's 10 books in that series of books in there. But what inspired you to become an author, and how was writing impact your role as a martial arts instructor and leader?
Well, I began writing really mostly as just a communication to the student body at the martial arts school. So it would be in the form of a newsletter, eventually email, and I would just kind of write some articles, either my thoughts on a specific aspect of the martial arts, like why do we break boards, for instance, was a topic, or different things that people brought up, or things that were on my heart in terms of the community and martial arts. So just those short articles, but I saved all of those, and I was able to kind of compile different types of books from those short articles. And the first book that I wrote was about parenting, and how to help your child. Because one of the things that's so frustrating for parents a lot of time is just kind of basic obedience, and let's have some less chaos around the house. So that was kind of my desire on the first book, and taking the questions that I got from parents and the ways that I had been answering them already in short articles, and then just kind of expounded on them in the book and added some extra experiences from my own life, raising my own kids. The first book was really the hardest to write because I hadn't done it before, and it took me a little bit longer to kind of organize it together and get it the way that I wanted. But once it was done, I realized, I have other things that I'd like to talk about too, and so it was a little bit easier to put together and create and write the other two books. So I actually have a unique opportunity. One of my students' fathers is a doctor of leadership and a professor at our local college here. And in a couple of weeks, I'll be speaking to them um, on leadership. And I'm going to give all of them a copy of my latest book and talk to them and try to inspire them also to just start writing down things that are important to you. And before you know it, you will have a book to put out, and how you can use that to educate your community or market your business, or inspire others, whatever your goal is with that. But it's writing the book has presented many, many, many great opportunities for me in the community.
Well, you've almost answered my second question. And, and that's really powerful. I am inspired to write. I call it a spiritual thing now. I've just finished a book that's titled Don't Procrastinate on God. The mind kingdom wealth mindset. And it's really written for entrepreneurs that have a purpose. We all have a purpose in life, and it's designed to help them to move from procrastination, because procrastination is what really stops so many of us in our tracks, and we don't get anything done. We miss the opportunity. I truly believe that every person is born with an opportunity, with a purpose, but they renege on it. They take a good idea and they say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Then they look out, a month later, and someone has already written that book or done the project or created what they had the idea to do, but because they didn't move on it, then it didn't happen. And maybe that idea is something that would impact the world, that would
Right.
change someone's life. And I always say that, if God gives you something to do and you don't do it, then he just gives it to someone else. You
He
know,
wants it
so,
done, right?
so if you don't do it, then if it's in purpose, then it's going to be done. And so when you see your idea or someone has already created, you cannot be mad with that person. You have to. It's your fault because you didn't take the responsibility of doing that. And so the book is really about me going through procrastination myself by being overwhelmed with so many things that I've done and become burnout, and the tough things I need to do, I was not doing. I was putting on the back burner. And so I spent a whole year just working on myself.
Mm.
And the book is a reflection of what I've learned. Again, it's written for anyone. But focus was on Christian authors because it has Bible scriptures that back up, why you should not procrastinate, and and the opportunities you miss because you don't take advantage of it because you may not see it. So I listened to it all the way up to Atlantic City, New Jersey this weekend. We were there for Sifu Allen Goldberg's his Hall of Honors event, and we listened up to it all the way up there. And I'm going, man, that's a good book. you know,
I
I'm
bet
not
it
even
is.
on board, but when you read something because it's on Audible, when
Uh-huh.
you read something, you get this effect. But when you're listening to it and you're listening to it with other people, because I'm looking to find the errors in the book. Is there something I need to go back and change? But it was like it was everyone in the car was motivated. Oh man, this is great. They've actually grabbed their pen and paper and writing stuff down, went online and bought the book. But that's really what we're talking about, is that you can have an idea and a concept. All you have to do is really give it to life, and that really makes it happen. So, in my next question, which was, what advice would you give martial artists or business owners who want to write a book to establish themselves as an industry leader? Now, I know that you have all these things you do, but you also have your coaching and training courses that have developed through all these other things.
Yeah, I the first book I wrote was, kind of personal and advice oriented, but I do write instructor training manuals. I write um, leadership activities for kids, things that either in a martial arts school, any type of martial arts, or just a kids group in general, say for, Boy Scouts or something. Then we can use those activities and lessons when we go out into the community, and they are in book format and video format. So it's something that it's not just this book, but it's also these other things that kind of companion along with it. But my advice would be just to start. If you have something in your heart and say, I've always wanted to write that down, or I think this is something that I have to offer the world. And it doesn't have to be about parenting or even martial arts for that matter. It's just, what is inside of you that you would like to leave behind. I like to think of, um, maybe one day my grandchildren reading these books and getting to know their grandmother a little bit differently than they might, you know, right now face to face, and see who I was when I was, younger or their age. So, I would just give you the advice to just start. And even if it's pen to paper, and it's not in book format yet, just start. And there is so much help out there, your company included, that can help you publish that and put it into something that you can give and hand out to someone.
Right. And again, that's elitepublications.org.
Yes,
I'm going to
listen.
throw that out.
If
Yeah.
if you've got the idea and you're like, how do I start? I mean, absolutely, you can help somebody do that. But my advice is just start, and before you know it, you've got quite a bit of information that other people would find valuable. And if you're not the best at grammar or spelling or sentence structure. There are lots of people who are, and they'll take your words and they'll put it into something that you can feel confident with.
Well, and that's we're fortunate. We have a great team of people that are with Elite Publications. So wherever you are in the writing process, then let us know. And my first
Mhm.
advice is when you come up with an idea and you go to a publisher, you don't have to complete your book before you begin the publishing process. Well, what
Good
does that
point.
mean? Well,
Hmm.
what I like to do is actually take the idea and begin to market the idea before I actually write a word. So most of my books are out there from anywhere from 3 months to 6 months before I actually publish the book. Letting people know about what I'm writing about and
Gotcha.
getting their response. And as I'm writing, I can host a podcast or do a post. Okay, today I'm writing on da 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 da, and give someone a chapter of the book. But it's a really powerful marketing tool, and gain your support before you actually publish your book. But you want to have it so that if you're going to publish a book and you're going to tell someone you're publishing a book, you should have a way for them to actually purchase the book in a pre-sale. So that person has now committed to you, and it makes you have to commit to your deadlines to be able to get things done. Now,
That's
how
true
has
too. They
writing,
can, yeah,
I'm
coming
sorry, go ahead.
alongside can motivate, say I need you to stay on task. So that's a good point too.
Well, exactly right. How has writing helped you connect with parents and with your parents, your martial arts instructors, and your students on a deeper level?
Well, I think one, as far as like the instructor training manuals and the leadership activities, that keeps our school on point. It keeps the instructors, they know exactly what they're supposed to be teaching. If it's courtesy, how do you teach that? They have that all laid out for them. They also have a plan of how to get from beginning instructor to certified instructor. So as far as the school goes, that way it keeps it organized and on task, and those lessons don't ever get missed because it's part of the day-to-day curriculum. But as far as the other books that I've written that are more personal, especially my latest one, um, I think it helps the students and the families get to know me better as a leader in the school, because at this point I am still on the mat, I'm still out there, I'm at the other graduations, and I teach, but I'm not teaching all the classes like I did in my 20s, and all I'm not on the floor every class. So I think the book gives the families an opportunity to get to know me a little bit better and know my history. They're not going to see me out there uh, competing and doing all the things I used to do, uh, when I was younger. But in the book, I talk about those things and what it was like to get out and compete in a tournament, and it kind of gives them a glimpse of me in a bigger picture. So.
Right. And that's a really, again, a great way to have your students connect with you. So if you've been in our Who's Who in the Martial Arts books, then every student in your school should have a copy of that book because your bio's in there, other martial artists in there. So it's an educational book uh, that you can now your students can learn about the martial arts,
Right.
they can learn about the martial artists, but most important, it's about you. And now, since we offer our books, where we now offer our inductees the opportunity to have their picture on the front cover, they have their own personalized cover. So now uh, the students can share a part of them, and I call these your books as influencers, because
Hmm.
just like you had the show, you've got your book that goes with the show. So you're now a community influencer. So I think that's really very powerful, and I think that's an awesome strategy. So Amanda, how can people get up with you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have Amanda Jeskus on Facebook. I have a personal page there where I do post a lot of martial arts things, some personal things, but a lot of martial arts. And then Olson's Martial Arts Academy. You can reach out to us in Johnson City, Tennessee. Olson's Martial Arts Academy has its own Facebook presence, and then olsonsma.com, and that way you can go right to the website. But I'm pretty much Master Amanda out there on social media, so it's pretty easy to find me and get in touch. But if you're ever in East Tennessee, we're in Johnson City, and we always love people to stop by and say hello.
So, what has been the most rewarding experience or feedback that you've received from readers of your book?
Well, it really, just to the heart, when somebody comes up to me and mentions, oh, I read that thing about this, and that I really enjoyed that, or that was a funny story, or that really helped me. And one of the ways that, that just makes me feel like, okay, even if just one or two people were inspired or got something from it, that was enjoyable, and it was also makes me feel like I've done something helpful. But one of the ways that I like to get out the message in the book is just I'll take one lesson or one chapter and just do kind of like we're doing here. I'll just do a video of myself talking about that and what it meant to me then and what it means to me now. And I send that out to my students in an email or a link in a text message, and I'm able to communicate in many different ways because not everyone does read, and they might enjoy a podcast such as we're doing right now more so, but it's still the book in a podcast form or the book in the written form. So, um, you know, opening up communication and things to talk about and getting responses back from people is something that I've really enjoyed. I would like to say one last thing just to inspire people to do it is that it gives you, you probably already have a good standing in your community as a martial arts instructor. It gives you just another layer, another level of confidence in the community that you really are all about this. That you're a serious person who took the time to write a book, and there is something about somebody who writes a book that you think, wow, that took time and effort and heart, and that's admirable.
Any other new books or projects current or you're working on?
I've got a couple of ideas that I'm thinking about, but I haven't really released anything about those yet. But I think one of the things is once you do write a book and you realize I can do this, or this is a great way to communicate to more people, and it is inspiring to continue. So me writing has certainly not ended. It's just something that is part of what I'm going to be doing in my life from here on out.
Wow, that's really powerful. Again, what is your website again for us, please?
It's Olson's MA. That's OLSONSMA.com.
Great. And again, everyone, you can go to Amazon and you can get a copy of the book there. Now, in your coaching and leadership program, is this just for your school? Can other instructors contact you and train under you to develop better leadership skills?
Yes, and even though I have some material that's written specifically, for my school here, this particular course is written for any style of martial arts, any type of school, small school, large school, jujitsu, kung fu, taekwondo. It's not art specific. And I did that on purpose so that, any martial arts school that works with kids and wants to be able to offer them really active and fun and educational activities to back up their tenants. It's available for them. So they would just need to contact me and see how they could get that. It's 12 months, 52 lessons, activities. So it's one, something every week. It's done. It's written out for you. There's even videos so you could see that. It's easy to do. You could get it today and start this afternoon if you wanted to. So I made it very easy on purpose.
Well, again, I know the work you do. I'm one of the grandparents in your program,
Thank you,
so
sir.
so that's pretty amazing. And thank you again for being a part of our podcast, and much success to you and all you're doing. And
Thank
everyone, this
you.
is a great show. It's a great example, and this is the reason why we're doing this, because martial artists, they have a lot to offer. Sometimes they're not really looking at what that is. But, just like with Amanda, finding the success things you do, putting it down on paper, and now sharing it with others. So it's not just it's stuck someplace. When you share it with others, then you're really helping someone else become inspired, and they lift you up. So you don't have to lift yourself up. They lift you up by using the programs, reading the books, and applying this information. And again, I really do love the strategies that you have built in your community through the television and through the publishing, which are really powerful tools. And hey, we wish you much, much success.
Well, I
So,
appreciate that. Thank you for what you're doing for the martial arts community.
well, I really want to say to everyone, this is a powerful program. And a part of this, 5 series that we've done of introducing you to other martial artists who are coaches, who are professional speakers, who are corporate educators. They're doing these powerful things, but they're also authors. So we want to encourage you to look at becoming a professional speaker, advancing your knowledge out so that you have larger platforms that can really help with your growth. So you can click the link in our post and you can go to our online course, and you can go through the course and become certified as a corporate educator or business trainer. We actually are giving away courses ready made that you can utilize to teach, and we give you the steps that you can realize on how to impact. I've had the great opportunity being a corporate educator for about 15 years with Duke Corporate Education. And I taught at Duke University, and Duke Corporation Corporate Education is a part of Duke's business school. So I have the chance to work with clients such as Nike, Raytheon, American Express, Coca-Cola, a lot of the Fortune 500 companies, but I'm not teaching them self-defense. I have my own programs about personal development training, and I'd be more than happy to share this information with you. Reach out to me. You can contact us at info@elitepublications.org. Be more than happy to share with you how you can now add these things to your martial arts program, and maybe you don't own a school, but you want to start a coaching program. So myself, Amanda, there's a lot of great information out there that we want to share with you. So everyone, hey, be blessed, and we will see you the next time.
Thank you.
Remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out.